You touched on it a little bit, like the internet manager. I think if somebody's throwing an internet manager into a position that hasn't sold a car or been involved in sales, it's not the right thing to do. It's almost like setting the person up for failure.
Have you taken it up yet? No, then I can't stand you. You haven't taken it up. I'm prejudiced against you. You guys don't negotiate?
No negotiation. We haven't done it. We've owned the dealerships since 2007, so we haven't negotiated one car deal in that time.
Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is L.A. Williams, Vice President with Dealer Synergy and one of the co-creators of the Millionaire Car Salesman. And y'all know who I got across from me. We got the other creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast and the Millionaire Car Salesman brand itself, the one and only Mr. Sean V. Bradley, CSP. What's up, Sean?
What's up, brother? Listen, man, I'm excited about today's episode because I just got back from the Toyota OEM conference for, office managers and controllers. And I met this rock star executive that's got a very unique experience. And I wanted to bring him onto the show because, again, I've been doing this for a very long time. And it's very rare that you have a former internet director that is now the chief financial officer, CFO of a dealer group. And I wanted to bring him on the show to be able just to pick his brain, because I've been saying this, LA, for years, that I believe that the dealer principals, the general managers, the CFOs, the corporate executives of not tomorrow, of today and tomorrow, they have to have a strong foundation. They have to have a strong base when it comes to internet sales, BDC, and CRM. I just don't understand how you can be a dealer principal or general manager or general sales manager or corporate executive and not have internet, BDC, or CRM experiences. What is your thoughts, LA?
Yeah, it's exactly what we just talked about this, because sometimes, I'll talk to a dealer and I'll have a conversation with the GM and the GSM and they'll be all excited about the training. And then they put you in front of a financial guy and he's just like, okay, what are the numbers? Like, it's not going to work that way, right? Because there's no value built if you've never been a part of the internet department, if you've never been a part of training a group of people and leading a team and understanding what that takes. Well, then you'll be like, oh, well, those prices are just too high. No, you just don't understand the value, right? But the cool part about someone like this is they've actually walked the walk, right? They actually have been in a direct, or they've been, held multiple spaces in the dealership, right? I even equate it to you, Sean, as a trainer, man. I just finished doing your with that walkout music, your trailer, man, and it's just like, it's so cool to be able to list all the different things that you have done and are doing, because it helps people to understand that this is not just a financial guy. This is not just, oh, he's the president of Dealer Synergy.
Yeah, but here's the problem, LA, is that a lot of times the internet director or the BDC manager is the bastard manager of the dealership. Yeah. So many times the internet director or BDC manager doesn't get any respect. Mm-hmm. It's almost like when the lights come on, the roaches scatter. In a dealership, when you say internet director or BDC manager, they're like, oh, that's that guy or that's that girl. They don't get the same type of love and respect, appreciation. They don't get the same type of credentials. They don't get the same type of status, if you will, as a sales manager or as a GSM or as an F&I manager. And I think that stigma's got to change. And I think that today's episode is going to be amazing because when we bring out our special guest and we're able to kind of break things down, it's going to be like, oh snap, that's a CFO, that's a chief financial officer, that's somebody that cuts checks, somebody that was an internet guy, somebody that was a BDC guy, somebody that it's like, yeah, absolutely. How do we have a position in the dealership that literally affects 85 to 99% of everybody, right? The internet and phones are the new showroom. How are you going to segregate that and put that to people that are not relevant, that are not experienced, that are not respected, that are not fully resourced? To me, that makes no sense. There's a reason why dealers struggle with internet and BDC. Do you think maybe because of the person you have freaking leading the show? needs a little help. LA?
You tell the truth, man. So when we come back, man, we are going to be listening to one of the most inspiring stories probably in the automotive industry. I'm telling you, somebody going from an internet director all the way to the C-suite, right? So if that's something you want to do, you want to stay tuned and hear from our guest, Mr. Justin Rody. We'll be right back, y'all. It's the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Podium. Here's a question. How much would your business change if you had one more employee who worked 24/7 to turn every lead, including the ones that come in after hours, into test drives, sales, and more money for your dealership? Meet Jerry, Podium's new AI BDC. Jerry is a lead conversion powerhouse designed to respond instantly to every incoming lead to answer questions accurately, keep leads warm, and schedule test drives all without direct human supervision. And the best part, with a seamless handoff to staff on the sales floor, customers will never know they were interacting with an AI to begin with. See how Podium's AI BDC can help you sell more cars by visiting podium.com/MCS. That's podium.com/MCS, or click on the link in the show notes below.
This has been the most in-depth training I've had in my lot of years in the car business.
We went from 60 cars to 156 cars a month in 3 months.
NAMAD, the entire Toyota Chicago region, as well as the top automotive groups like Koons, Lithia, and Norm Reeves have all used Bradley On Demand to train their team.
They're the most comprehensive training company I've seen, and they by far have the best support system.
Doing 50 cars a month, topped out at 80. I can tell you that the Bradley On Demand training will get you to the next level.
And guess what? The world's #1 car salesman, Cody Carter, shares his exclusive strategies right here. You want his secrets? You gotta have Bradley On Demand. If you're still not enrolled in Bradley On Demand, you're missing out on the best virtual automotive training in the world. Enroll now or contact us for a free test drive of the platform today.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, SVB, and the place to be is the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. I got my sidekick. I got my co-host, L.A. Williams over here. Okay, yeah. And we've got Justin. Justin, welcome to the show. First of all,
What's going on, Rody?
Yeah, it was awesome meeting with you at Toyota Portland Region's annual CFO, Controller, Office Manager Conference. It was great seeing you there. How was that for you?
It was awesome. Again, I'm part of a dealer group that has the Toyota, Ford, and Volkswagen stores. We're fortunate that the Portland region takes a lot of interest in us as controllers and puts on a program like that because it was pretty impactful. It's my second time being to it, so love it.
Yeah, from what I'm told is that Toyota doesn't do that with every one of the regions. I think it's very rare that they are putting together a specific conference with over 60 plus CFOs, office managers, and controllers from all over the region. So kudos to the Portland region. Kudos to Toyota Manufacturer because they're pouring into their decision makers and their leaders. And what we talked about, I want to get your opinion. What did you think about the presentation? Because it was like hours. It was like 3+ hours or almost half a day that I was with you guys. But I spent a big portion of it with the 7 habits of highly effective people. And I thought that was really awesome that Toyota allowed me to really kind of share Dr. Covey's 7 habits of highly effective people. What did you think about that information?
Loved it. It's something that I've read myself and done. So it was just a nice to reaffirm everything and refresh on it, so to speak.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I feel like Toyota are my people, like my daughter's an F&I manager at Toyota Vineland in RK Auto Group, there. I've been working with Toyota for many years now at this point, and I just really appreciate the culture. I appreciate the brand, and I appreciate what they do. And I'm appreciative that I was able to meet you because let's just jump right into it. Currently, you are the chief financial officer for what's the name of the dealer group?
Kalispell Auto Group in Kalispell, Montana.
Okay, in Montana. And you already said that you have Ford, VW, and Toyota?
Yes.
All right. So let's jump into it. Tell us about your background, man. We already told the audience a little bit that you were internet director, but how long you been in automotive and how the hell did you become a CFO?
Well, I've got a grandfather that had a small car dealership, and so I kind of worked my way in that. washing cars, cleaning cars, things like that. Went off to school and wanted to go into sports marketing. I managed an auto racing track for 4 years. That's where I developed a relationship with the dealer owner and dealer principal, Jared Gandrud. And then I went to work for him in 2010, and that's where I started as an internet director. So at our Toyota store, and that was our first dealership that we had here in the Valley.
All right, so talk to us about this. What was your responsibilities as an internet director?
Basically, it was handling anything that the customer had at that point. We were in like the earlier years of the internet with it. The stuff that's going on now with video walkarounds and getting on a FaceTime call or a Zoom call with a customer to sell a car wasn't really prevalent there. So it was a lot of phone, but a lot of emailing that was going back and forth at that time. So it's interesting to see how it's changed and evolved.
Do you agree with my statement that I said that in general, maybe not your store, but in general, the internet director or BDC managers, like the bastard manager of the dealership, they don't get enough clout, enough respect, enough resources compared to the other management positions? What is your opinion on that?
I would kind of agree with that. I mean, they take on a lot of handling that digital footprint and the leads that come in the dealership. I mean, at our store, 40 to 50% of our stuff is coming through the digital doorway. So, and then they're also handling phone calls that come through, and then reaching back out to customers. And so, I mean, there's a big importance with that BDC manager or internet manager.
I agree there's an importance to it, but it just doesn't translate to the fame and glory. Like, and this is what I don't understand, is that the average dealership, as per NADA, has about 10 salespeople, a sales manager, 2 sales managers, GM, GSM, F&I, to sell 100 cars. So there's a bunch of people. But if you are a sales manager, there is either at least 1 to 2 other sales managers, maybe even a GSM or GM, to assist you. Like, no dealership is run with just one sales manager. And to even think that's possible is absurd. Like, if I said to the average dealer, the average GM, the average GSM, yeah, try to run your 100 car a month Toyota dealership with just one sales manager, they'd laugh at you. They'd be like, that's not even possible. How is one sales manager supposed to run 10 salespeople, all these ups, new car, used car, inventory, marketing, all this stuff? It doesn't make sense. But yet that's what we expect an internet director to do. We look at an internet manager or BDC manager, and we have 50 million things in their job description. You know, we want you to run everything for internet. We want you to handle the CRM. We want you to handle lead source providers, online classified, digital marketing, the website. We need to have technology. Plus, we need salespeople. We need BDC reps. And there's all this stuff. To me, I just don't think it's realistic to put all of that into one person, especially if it's not the absolute most talented, most sophisticated manager. Usually the internet director, if you look at the entire management team, it's the least qualified and least experienced manager. And some of these internet directors have never even taken it up before. They've never sold a car before. They've never desked a deal before. They've never done all that stuff. So looking through your eyes as a CFO and as a corporate executive, why do we know that internet and BDC is so important? To your point, 80, 90% of people are involved in it. It's the new showroom, but yet we usually give the internet management and internet leadership the least resources. Why is that?
I don't know how to explain that, I guess. I know we kind of do. You were saying that, the internet manager has all these different roles. I mean, with our internet managers, they're more down to the lead themselves. Our marketing director handles all of the digital traffic, bringing leads into the store. She's very keyed in on the CRM. She's kind of the CRM champion on that, but then does rely on the internet managers at the dealership in order to go through and do that. But it's probably that there hasn't been enough emphasis put on it at the store level in order to say, hey, this is a viable position, and it is something that we need to go through and put more emphasis on. I think there is some things that we need to do better in the industry in order to promote that internet role.
What did you learn from being an internet manager, whether it was the day-to-day operations and internet BDC? What lessons, what knowledge, what did you learn from your position?
I think a big thing was being organized, being grounded, following the process. We're very, very heavy on process ourselves, and so if we get somebody that isn't bought into it, they don't succeed in the industry. I think another thing you touched on a little bit, like the internet manager. I think if somebody's throwing an internet manager into a position that hasn't sold a car or been involved in sales, it's not the right thing to do. It's almost like setting the person up for failure. And we don't allow that in our groups.
Wait a minute. I love that you said that, and I didn't prompt you to say it, because I get shitted on from some of my audience because they're like, how dare you? Like, that's so not nice. Like, just because they didn't take ups. And I'm like, look, I'm a car guy. Like, car people are the most racist, prejudiced people. And I don't mean about race and religion. I'm talking about, have you taken it up yet? No, then I can't stand you. You ain't shit. If you haven't taken it up, I'm prejudiced against you. How are you going to tell me as a salesperson or a manager what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and you've never even taken up before? And that's what I want to talk about for a second. Since you opened up that door, I really want us to talk about that. Does that mean that a person that didn't take an up, can't be in the position? I'm not saying that, but they're not the best profile. Yes. In my opinion, for you to be the best internet director or BDC manager or run that department, you have got to have been, in my opinion, a BDC rep before. You have to have been a salesperson before. And I'm going to dare say, I hope you were a sales manager, because if you could leverage those three experiences, BDC, sales, and sales management, into being an internet director or BDC manager, that's going to give you the best landscape to be all you can be. Justin, what do you think on that?
100%. I mean, I think it's if the person doesn't understand the sales process, they're not going to succeed in the internet. And there is differences, but they're not that different, really. It's taking care of the guest and getting them what they want and listening to them. That's, the biggest things that are in there. And I think that you have to have somebody that has that background. I look at it like my sister. She's in banking. If I went and I pulled my sister and put her into an internet manager role, and she doesn't have any background in auto, it's almost setting the person up for failure.
You ain't never lied. And then let's kind of put it like this. If you don't have BDC experience, then you're going to be one of those people who's just telling somebody to do something that you've never done, right? You're going to be the boss just sitting around talking, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, because you heard from a trainer guy, you heard from L.A. Williams that this is what you're supposed to do. But you never did it before, so you can't truly show someone how to do it. And then if you've never been in sales, right, you're either going to take just the salespeople's advice on what should be happening, or you're going to be trying to show them how to sell a car and tell them, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And you don't really know, right? That's why it was so important for me to take it up as a blind person. I had to make sure that I had that ability, right? And then if you've never been a manager, well, now you're going to be one of those kind of people who don't know how to manage a team, right? And so no matter what, it's important for you to have had those three positions, as Sean just said, so that you can be the most effective internet director. And that still doesn't even guarantee, but at least it gives you the starting point.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like we have in our Ford store and our Toyota store, which are the biggest, we've got an internet manager at the Ford store, internet BDC manager. Her name's Carrie. She was in sales for 4 years before she rolled into the BDC manager and internet manager role. And then our Toyota store, Ian, he was involved in sales for, almost probably eight years, and then moved into that role also. And they know the background, they know the day-to-day and how things need to work and can coach the people within that department and help them. I think it's very important that they have the background.
I can't stress this enough. I want to just let everybody know out there, if you are internet director or BDC manager and you haven't sold cars before, you haven't been a BDC rep before, you haven't been a manager before, that doesn't mean that you should just quit or you're going to suck at your job. I'm not saying that at all. So I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt. We're just saying what is going to give you the highest probability of success. What is going to be the highest probability of an employee satisfaction? In my opinion, it's going to be 10 times better if you were an internet director or BDC manager, that you've done the BDC job before. You've made phone calls, you've made appointments, you were a salesperson, you took ups, and you were a sales manager before. You've done TOs, you put deals together, because then and only then, in my opinion, will you have the perfect mixture of experience, tactical experience, strategic experience, to be able to handle all the things that happen in real time. Because it's like the Navy, the old Navy. It's not just a job, it's an adventure. I mean, every day when you get into that department, there's going to be something interesting that happens or a situation that pops off, and you're going to need to make sure that you have the right experience on what to do. Now, I want to pivot. I do like your infrastructure. It makes sense, especially because you're a dealer group. Right now, you said that you have a system where you have a marketing manager that's also really good with the CRM. And so that makes sense. What you're talking about is being able to organize the role of a director. And so your director, it sounds like, is running the department, because, you know, they don't have to worry about necessarily the CRM operations because somebody else handles that. They don't have to really worry about getting leads because someone else handles that. So they're basically able to handle the day-to-day operations and how to maximize the leads that have been given. So there's less distractions, there's less confusion. It's just, okay, here's what I need to do and here's how we do it. All right. So with that being said, here's some questions then. Okay, right now, because you said you're based in Montana, how many leads do you think that the dealer group gets a month, approximately?
Probably in that 300 to 400 on an internet basis, with the Toyota and Ford stores, some of the things I've heard with them.
All right, so we are now going into, we're in May. Obviously, of 2025. What would you say you've got two of the top vehicles on planet Earth. You have the Toyota, which is the number one selling vehicle, the RAV4, that just beat the F-150. And you also have the F-150, who's the number one selling vehicle for the last, 47 years. So in all honesty, VW is a decent brand, but you've got the two biggest, most powerful brands in the world. You've got Toyota and you've got Ford, and then you also got, VW and then used cars or what have you. Since you've got such diversity, import versus domestic, the top two brands on the planet, what do you feel that your prospects are looking for the most? Would you say that they're looking for pricing, they're looking for availability, they're looking for convenience? What do you think that your customers in Montana are looking for the most?
I think the convenience factor, that's one thing that we've built into everything that we're known for. We're a one price store, so people are familiar with that. They can go on our website, the price they see on our website is the same price they pay on the lot. And so I think price plays into a little bit, but price doesn't really dictate everything that we do. So I think it's the convenience factor
okay, let's talk about that for a second. So the if you're a one price store, is that pretty consistent, or you guys don't negotiate?
No negotiation. We haven't done it. We've owned the dealerships since 2007, so we haven't negotiated one car deal in that time.
Oh wow! And if you don't mind me asking, what would you say the average grosses are, front, back, total, everything?
It ranges anywhere between $2,000 to $6,000, depending on what's on there.
That's strong though. Okay, so that's interesting. So you are a one price store, and do you have people that try to negotiate?
Yeah, we do.
And how do you handle that? So let's just say I'm me, and I'm like, all right, you're a one price store. BS. All dealers say that, but you want my business or not? What is your response?
Well, I just go through and I talk to them and say, hey, one of the things about us, that makes us different is we don't negotiate on our vehicles. We offer our best price up front and riding every day on our vehicles. You can see them clearly posted in the front windshield of the vehicles. And I really go back to my honesty and integrity is more than this. If they get really dug in on the price, it's basically, hey, I've sold a lot of vehicles in my time, and I'm not gonna change my honesty and my integrity in business for this one car deal.
Right.
And it's just kind of break it down with them. And we have lost some deals on that, but we don't really lose a whole lot because it goes back into the customer service aspect of it also.
Well, talk to us, because I think that having one price, it does a lot. It makes it more convenient. It differentiates yourself from the competition. It also can stabilize grosses overall if you have the right pricing strategy. But I would think that it definitely should streamline the process, right? And that's the thing, is if we're trying to get people in and out, if we're trying to make the appointment or sell the car, anything that we do is going to elongate the process. It's going to take us 10 minutes to cook minute rice. So if we could take out one of the variables, which is the vehicle itself and what we're paying for the vehicle, it should add more time on the clock. Is that the logic?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I think that's strong as hell. Okay, so that's interesting. All right, since you have one price store, what is your value package? And this is something I talked about at the conference I did for Toyota with you. What is different and better about you and your group? Like, why should somebody buy a car? So I got the first one, is one price shopping. But other than the one price shopping, give our audience some stuff to consider. What's different and better about your store?
So before we do that, Justin, here's what I'd like to do, because if we could, I just want to, because we got some sponsors and things that want to share some things. And what you're about to say, I know is getting ready to blow the audience away. So if we could take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out all about Justin's value package proposition. Y'all going to want to listen to this on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. We'll be right back.
Listen, if you don't have access to Bradley On Demand, you're missing out on crucial information. The top automotive groups like Coons, Lithia, and Norm Reeves have all used Bradley On Demand to train their teams. And guess what? The world's #1 car salesman, Cody Carter, shares his exclusive strategies right here. You want his secrets? You gotta have Bradley On Demand. Stop waiting and start winning. Dominate your market. Click the link and get access now.
Thank you for calling Doing It Wrong Motors. How can I help you?
I was looking at the tan 2023 GMC Terrain. You guys still have that?
Oh, sorry. That vehicle's been sold.
Could this be happening at your dealership? Get the Dealer Synergy team to handle calls the right way. We'll gather all the information, drop it in the CRM, set a solid appointment with notes, so all you have to do is sell. Do yourself a favor and go to dealersynergy.com for a free demo.
And no more of this burning through phone-ups nonsense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. And as promised, just before that, the words from our sponsor, Justin was getting ready to share with us his value package proposition. And then you told us, you said you got this, what's it called, a value card or something like that?
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about
values card. So we are part of the Rydell Auto Group. Rydell is the largest privately owned dealership group in the country. With uncommon ownership. So each of the stores are individually owned and operated. Really, the only thing that ties them together is this card. It's the same for all of them. Basically, it talks about the vision and values, and we have this posted out front for customers to see. So it talks about our value of honesty and integrity, value of individual responsibility, unconditional dedication to excellence, a value of cooperation and communication, the value of our people, our ongoing improvement, and then the value of being a good community citizen. So it's kind of like our pillars that are there. And it's something, that value proposition it's kind of a different thing to think about, really. Because some dealers, okay, hey, we're gonna offer free lifetime service. We're gonna offer free car washes. We're gonna, throw this type of stuff in there. We're not about that. We're not about this, throwing this free stuff in there. It's really goes back to taking care of the guest very, very well and earning their trust and loyalty for a lifetime. And that's what we built here for the last 18 years in the Valley. It's kind of fun when the other dealerships in the area want to try to emulate this, but they don't stay with it. They change. They flip back and forth. So this is one of those things that we always look back at. If we're making a decision, what does this matter to us, and what does this matter to the guest? So
you're telling the truth, man. So many times that I've spoken to dealers and we talk to them about, hey, what's the mission statement? What's mission, vision, value? What are those things? And they're like, yeah, we're going to do it, but then they never do. Or they do it, but they're like, how does this help us going to sell us some cars, right? Yes. Well, this is the thing you're not getting. So
absolutely. So what do you think your prospects and your clients feel about the value package? Do they feel that it's vapor, or do they feel like it's substance? Do they appreciate it? I know the answer. I just want to ask you.
Yeah, no, I think when you're first talking to somebody, if they haven't done business with us before, it does seem like the mystic, mystic ocean water, so to speak, or something like that. But I think once they buy a vehicle from us and service it and maintain it, maybe come back and use our detail center, buy accessories from us, it earns that trust and return business. And then it makes it easier on the next sale that they come and do, and then the next sale. And we convey that also with our other customers that have maybe purchased. And it's a lot of word of mouth advertising that we have. So I think that word of mouth advertising that dealers can get is huge. And in that sense, where I'm going with that is, maybe on a used car, like we will go and repair different things on a used car that maybe that came up down the road, right? And to us, that's word of mouth advertising is a big thing, and taking care of that customer and showing them, hey, we're gonna take care of you. And we understand there's some extenuating circumstances and things like that, but we use that policy as almost an advertising thing for us.
I love it. All right. Talk to me about artificial intelligence. Are you guys using anything with AI right now?
We are. I don't know a whole lot about it, but with Drive Centric, we are tied in with their AI platform.
Okay. So you're using AI within the CRM?
Yes.
Okay. And you're not sure how that's working out so far?
I don't have that information on there. I do know, and just kind of briefly talking with the internet managers, they do like the functionality of being able to go back and follow up on a lead, maybe reconnect with somebody that's been lost, or get information out to the general public on it.
Absolutely. What I would say is this too: if you ever get a chance, take a look at Podium's conversational AI. Podium is a huge company that specializes in text messaging, online reputation, and I know that they have some, at least Ford OEM, programs and co-op, and I think Toyota as well. Because I've got a bunch of Ford and Toyota dealers that are using Podiums. They have a product called, it's like a AI for BDC, and so it's not instead of your CRM. The CRM is fine. But in addition to that, being able to have conversational AI, I like to call it omnipresent. That means is that, being able to have the AI on its own, separate from the CRM, reaching out to all prospects, all opportunities, whether they're internet sales, their phone sales, their prior customers, their orphan owners, their service, their whatever, you can reach out to them to be able to, engage and escalate to appointments, etc. So if you haven't looked at it, take a look at it. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I'll get my gal on that.
All right. So talk to me. You before we had the interview, I was asking you about charity. The reason why it's important is I love your dealer group's value package proposition. I love that you guys have a differentiator, because at the end of the day, price is only relevant with the absence of value. So, the next thing is, what are you doing as a dealer group to support the community? Because if you want the community to buy cars from you, to service from you, to buy parts from you, to trade in their vehicles, to refer people to you, then it's got to be reciprocal. It's got to be, working together. So can you just share some of the things that you and your group are doing in the local community?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things we started back, it was probably 2011 or 12. We set up a deal, and car dealerships are our best things that we learn are ideas that we steal from other dealers, right? So a friend of ours, Parker Toyota in Coeur d'Alene, they had done a program with a local high school, and they donate a vehicle to them. Brand new vehicle, and then they set it up where there's a ticket that's sold. They're $10, and they want to make over $150,000 basically for this school. So we took that same mindset basically and put it in here with the Kalispell Public Schools. And so we allowed the kids to go out and sell $10 tickets, and that generated somewhere in that. I think the first year it was like $50,000 to $80,000. Of money that goes right to the general fund of the school. So it's different, the band kids, the drama kids, football program, soccer program, they can all gain money from that. In the last year, I think we were right a little over $100,000. We've done that since. We've opened it up to all three of the dealerships. So it's a $30,000 vehicle credit or a Volkswagen Taos, Ford Escape, or a Toyota RAV4 that the winner can choose from. And it's a great thing for the community, and kind of a fun thing that somebody can win a brand new car.
So talk me through that. Do you have so how many of the cars have you given away so far in the last couple of years?
So we've given away one a year, so it's 18 cars in that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And so please tell me you have this video recorded, like you have the event recorded where somebody's going up on stage and picking their car and winning and
a little bit, but we do it. We do a presentation at a crosstown basketball game where the two high schools get together, and we draw the ticket there. A lot of times the person's not at that event, but they come into the dealership afterwards. So we do have some videos and stuff of that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as an advanced marketer than I am, I would be capitalizing on that because that is sensational. That isn't normal that a car dealership is going to give away a real brand new car to somebody. I could even see like follow up. Let's just say Mary won the RAV4. Hey, Mary, tell us how this car has changed your life. What have you been able to do? Where are you going because of this car? I mean, like there's so much social content you could create with that. And there's so much that you could put on Instagram, TikTok, and things like that. I would love to be able to see that.
Yeah, definitely. No, and there's some cool stories that came out of it. We probably about 10 years ago, there was a car that actually was won by one of the teachers. Recently lost her husband and needed a vehicle, and it all worked out. And so she was one that bought a $10 ticket and was able to win at that point a Toyota Tacoma. So.
Oh, wow. And tell everybody how's that work. I know how it works, but like again, so what is the dealers really paying $30,000, or are they paying the different? What is the dealer's like responsibility in this situation?
So we provide the vehicle fully. So it's and that's why we say a $30,000 vehicle credit, or we pick one of the models. So it could range depending on what the model is that we have. But it's somewhere in that like 30 to 35 max range. We also provide all of the raffle tickets, any of the legal type setup that we had to do with it. And so it's a turnkey thing to the school that 100% of that ticket, they keep the money. No money is coming back to the dealership in that sense. So.
Okay. And so, again, it's not that complicated for you guys to be able to do at all, and it's in your wheelhouse. And how has that translated to marketing or propaganda or community excitement and then sales? What would you say?
Well, I think it gets the kids involved. One of the things that one of the things that, and you may have experienced it with schools, is you get all of the different schools that want to come and, they want to get money for their band program. They want to get money for their choir program. They want to get money for this and that. And so it kind of like, it almost, I don't really want to say it nickels and dimes the store, but it's just so much different things that are out there that segments the dealership. And so we came up with this, and now any of the different organizations that come out of the school and want to get a donation at that, we put them in the sense, or put them on the road of sell these tickets, because this is 100% money that's to you. It's a really good value proposition to the customer in that sense, because they have the option to win a vehicle, and really in that 18 years, people look forward to it. I mean, the different we get people that are sending information on Facebook and Instagram and our website of asking, when's the raffle going to happen? When can we buy tickets still? When can we do this? There's a fair amount of stuff that we have there. So, and that's just one of the things that we do. I mean, we try to do a few different things a year, and then donate to a lot of other child-oriented causes.
All right. So what I'm doing right here is, you probably don't know this, but I have my own organization that my wife and I started called Help Because You Can. Yes. I've owned my company for 21 years, but if you take a look, Help Because You Can, we are on the board for Pauly Strong, which is a 503c nonprofit for pediatric cancer at a Sloan Kettering Memorial. In addition to that, what you're looking at now are just in the last 10 years. The first 11 years, I wasn't smart enough to keep track of it, but these are all of the organizations that me, my wife, and my family have donated millions of dollars to. And these are the individual people that we've helped that needed help. And so the reason why I'm showing this for you is that as altruistic as you guys are, as awesome as you guys are, there's another layer that you can do. If this is me, I would basically have this on your website, not like, hey, I'm helping kids buy for me, but for SEO purposes. Because think about this, just so you understand, backlinks are a huge aspect of search engine optimization. Yes. So if it was me and I was donating a freaking car to a couple different schools, what I would want is that these schools, they basically on their website, they should have a backlink there. Why? Because that is very, very important to you. That is very, very important to Google and to the search engine optimization strategy. And a lot of dealers are not really savvy with building the proper backlinks with authoritative sites. So this is not that difficult at all. But can you imagine if you...
Glad you brought it up, because we do this. Like, we have that on our... There's a page that's built out for it. We have backlinks with that.
Nice.
We also, when we're going through on any of the stuff that we sponsor, we ask that they link to us. We provide them information on how.
I love it. You are one of the few people. Okay, so go through it again. What do you ask all your people, and what's your website that I could see?
So we have Kalispell Ford, Kalispell Toyota.
All right, so I'm at your website now. So where would we find this at?
Yeah, so if you go under the About Us tab. Mm-hmm. But this is a lot of the different stuff that we support. So we have the.
This is amazing. So LA, what I'm here, it says it's proud to be an active community supporter in the Flathead Valley. So it's got custom graphics. It's got a check for $20,000. Toyota sponsored events: Northwest Montana Fair, concert and livestock auction, alert, Betty Woods Foundation golf tournament, art in the park.
That's
okay,
hot.
Great Bear Fest. So you guys are doing a really good job showing all this stuff here. And I'm seeing there are a lot of backlinks. There you go. You got the youth softball, the Girls on the Run, 911 dispatch. You're supporting all this stuff?
Yes.
This is amazing. And so the idea, if this is optimized the right way, okay, this is going to be able to give you SEO juice.
Huge.
So to speak.
It's huge.
Yeah, this is definitely really good. I'm super impressed with what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and then if you go back up to that About Us tab on there, and then the school raffle is in there, Flathead Valley Schools raffle, and then you can see, here's information on it, the different videos and stuff that's there. So
the winning ticket number is boom, and then it's the rally. Let's go through. Hold on. For our audience listening to the podcast, there wasn't any verbiage on there. It was like a slideshow, but that's a good lesson for you. Remember, LA is blind, for real. What you want to be able to do is create content that's search engine optimizable, even for people that can't see. Yeah, I mean, because again, like unless you could see what's on there, there was no closed captions, or there was no details. Other than that, though, I thought it was amazing.
Yes.
And Justin, don't worry, I can do your voiceovers too if you'd like.
I love it. I love it. LA, what is your thoughts on all this stuff?
No, man, this is exactly what you've talked to dealers about for years, and so many people don't take your advice. And, sometimes I feel like they think that you're talking, in theory, or like you say, woo, like, oh, this would be a beautiful thing to do. But they don't realize there are successful people who are doing just this. And this is the reason why they're successful at being a quote unquote one price store. Let's just say there's another dealer who's like, oh yeah, we want to be a one price store, but yet you're not doing all the rest of this stuff that goes along with being a one price store. It's not just being one price, right? That's not the only piece of it that comes. There's pieces to the puzzle. You can't have one piece of the puzzle and think you got the entire thing. Like you can't just have one ingredient. Okay, I got some flour. Let's build it up. Let's make it all pretty. Oh, now it's a cake. No, you still need some eggs. You still need some sugar. You still need some bacon. So you still need some heat to make it work.
And that's where it goes back to this values card. If you pull one of these legs out of this values card, it doesn't work. And that's what a lot of these dealerships that decide, oh, hey, we're going to do the one price thing. Well, we're going to do that for like 3 months and then we're going to change. They don't have all those. And so they don't have all of the keys to that success, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. I was very impressed when I met you at the Toyota conference. I mean, the fact that you were a former internet director who's now the chief financial officer of a dealer group in Montana, the fact that you have such an incredible amount of experience leveraging your dealer group's value package proposition into being a strong differentiator. When you're not doing what everybody's doing, you're a one price store, you have specific value, you contribute to the community, you've kind of created, like your model of success. So let's open that up. This is a very broad question, but it's an easy layup as we start to wind down the show, right? Is Justin, in your opinion, in 2025 and beyond, what does it take for a dealer to be successful? So talk to the audience. So if you're talking to other CFOs, other GSMs, other dealer principals, other GMs, what advice do you have for them right now with this current economy, this current landscape on how they could sell cars and make their people happy?
I think it just goes back to following the process, taking care of the guest, and offering a good value. I think there's 3 things that are there. And our owners just pounded it into us: the process. We don't deviate from that. We follow the process on that. And then I think with being the one price and the way that we do it, again, taking care of that guest. We're never not going to take care of a guest. And so we keep up on that. And then and just going through and really taking care of our guests and our people too. I think we haven't really touched on that a little bit, but the people in our business is another thing. So with that, with like the changing landscapes on the tariffs and stuff, we haven't really got into that. I've had some conversations with our owner, and he's like, hey, I know this stuff's going to be coming. I'm not going to fixate on that. It was kind of like the same thing with COVID when we had COVID going through, and we didn't fixate on it. We took the path of what we needed to do, and we rolled with the punches. And I think that's a big thing that people have to do. Don't overreact to it.
I would agree. All right. With that being said, Justin, I want to allow you to just close out. And if there's anything you want to leave the audience with, like your best practices, your personal advice, just for them to be successful as we close out.
Well, and we talked a little bit before about, one of like the things that I feel that I'm best at. And I really like to focus in on my team. And I think that the biggest thing is one of our values is the value of our people. And we have nothing of greater value than our people in our dealerships. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for the people that have kind of came in the past and that are still here with us. And I say it in my role. I have about 20 different people that are in our office. I could not do what I do without them. I rely heavily on my staff, and I take care of them. And I think it's making sure that, one, you're taking care of your guest, but two, you're taking care of your people. And I think that's a huge thing in business, that you have to make sure that you're taking care of your team. And we have over 250 employees in our 3 dealerships, and we take care of them pretty well. So it's a good thing. So I encourage dealers to do that.
100% agreed. If you want the absolute best CSI and the best, customer satisfaction, focus on employee satisfaction, focus on loving on your people. Yeah. I said this before, what's the difference between your Toyota dealership and the other Toyota dealerships? You sell the same Toyotas. It's people and process. That's all it is. It's people and process. So you need to appreciate all the different personalities, all the different expertise and experience. And this is why I'm so glad that you read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm so glad that you got a chance to sit in my refresher course for the Toyota region. And if we can figure out a way how we could engage people at the dealership and help them with the natural evolution in the maturity continuum from dependence, codependence to independence, and ultimately interdependence. That's what every dealership's goal should be, is how can I make my team collaborative? How can I have synergy as a culture? How can I have interdependence from the sales, service, finance, parts, the whole entire dealership? Once I could get everybody working together interdependently, I'm going to be better. My company's going to be better. My clients are going to appreciate it. Do you agree, Justin?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, because how can one person, if you don't have culture and you don't have the leadership all going in the same direction with the people in the dealership, man, that's gotta be hard for somebody to do that when you're going in multiple different directions. It's nice when you got everybody on the same path. So.
Yeah, it's called being fragmented, right? Even when the birds fly, they come. How Beyonce put it? Okay, ladies, now let's get information. Cool, I slay, right? It's just so super important, man. So, listen, man, I always say that you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with, and you've just been spending time with myself, Mr. L.A. Williams, the Blind Master, Mr. Sean V. Bradley, CSP, and my main man, Mr. Justin Rody. So if you want to go from being wherever you are in the business to being a C-suite, the CFO or the C whatever, then this is the podcast for you, and I hope you got a lot of value out of it. It's your turn. Go out there and be a millionaire car salesman. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. If you liked it, you're going to love Bradley On Demand. Bradley On Demand is the most advanced virtual training, tracking, testing, and certification platform. What does that mean? It's an online university. And if you like this information here, we have hundreds and hundreds of advanced videos, step by step, on how to help you sell more cars more often and more profitably. So sign up now.